8 billion number ones. Rob Liefeld.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
You can bring him flowers.
That sounds like a game.
Welcome all you Sheehanites.
It's a little embarrassing. I think this is the 12th recording.
For the big display of this fat boy, not Rob Liefeld. Welcome all you Sheehanites again to Sheehan is Dead Comics. Thank you. Certainly hope you got a chance to look at the PKJ Philip Kennedy Johnson going full Sheehan, talking about Action Comics, Superman, and Last Sons of America. Yes, with the Spanish girl talked Star Wars.
All she knew was Star Wars quotes.
All she knew was, it's a trap. Please check that out.
Tell us, Brian, about all the folks we have lined up over the course of the next number of weeks.
Sure. Well, Shannon, I certainly hope you enjoy the video, the interview with Philip Kennedy Johnson. We have, on February 9th, we have Dr. Drela Temendi for all you Sheehanites. If you ever watched any of the DC animated special features, Dr. Drela Temendi's on there giving her insights about the characters and storylines of DC Comics. She also has a podcast on Apple, very popular. It's called The Arkham Sessions. Her and her husband, Brian Ward, do that. I really enjoy it. They've evaluated episodes of Batman the Animated Series, and most recently they're doing the whole track of Star Wars, episode 1 to 9.
Okay.
The following week, on the 16th, which will publish the following week, we're going to have the great Brad Anderson, arguably the best colorist in the comic book biz from DC Comics, and King Fabic's apparently personal colorist. And then on the 23rd, we have Anthony Desiato. He of Digging for Kryptonite. He has a fantastic podcast all about Superman on Apple Podcasts. And you can check it out on YouTube also. It's just the same podcast on Apple as in video form on here. It's Anthony Desiato, is Desiato. Check him out. If you like comic books or geek stuff, or especially Superman, I would give that a listen. And then last but not least, we have the great Sean O'Connell from Cinema Blend and the Real Blend podcast.
Oh, the riggers.
So the last time he was with us in early summer or early to midsummer, we talked about his then book that he had out, which was about Bring On the Snyder Cut. Right.
Release the Snyder Cut, which you can also find on Amazon and all those.
Very interesting read if you have any interest in that. And so we had a great conversation about that, and that's here too on the channel. Check that out if you hadn't seen it. And what's he going to tell us about this time?
Well, that episode's for Release the Sheehan Cut, which was pretty awesome. And Sean was a lot of fun. And then now we're going to talk about his Spider-Man book, which is Spider-Man in film.
With
so he's really
great power.
Yes, with great power. Thank you. Yes.
Brian has been working his social engineering magic.
Sheehan has been. You go to organicpricedbooks.com, organicpricedbooks.com. At the checkout, you put in the promotion code Sheehan is Dead. And you put that in there, you save yourself about $2. If you create an account, which is very easy, each purchase you make, you accumulate points, and then eventually you can get coupons that are really easy to attain. So Blackest Night Omnibus, this was like one of the hottest stories years ago, probably like maybe 10 years ago. That was tied for the most expensive Absolute Edition I bought like 4 or 5 years ago. It was $300. I bought it on the secondary market. And it's still out of print, the Absolute Edition. However, the 10th anniversary, 10 years ago, the 10th anniversary omnibus is still available. It's on back order from Organic Price Books. Retails for $150. Amazon selling it for $135. Organic Price Books has it listed for $95, but with the extra 20% off, you pay $76.
Wow.
$150 book, brand new, nice fat boy omnibus with the whole story in it. Not just the main story, which is in the Absolute Edition, but it's like every single tie-in. It's amazing.
6 of them.
buy 7. They have a coupon code, ship it together for anything over $3 or more. And you
Gotcha.
save 5%.
In their office, they have the big scoreboard, who's in the lead. And Brian is usually within the top 5 as far as their best customers.
I have to be. I'm aiming for number 1.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Dude.
Yeah, well, you might be there. And so they're gonna send you that gift card for your shipping for sure. One thing I wanted to call out that I found, pretty much all the podcasts that I know of, you've sent my way. But now that I've kind of I've listened to a little bit of Sean. I've listened, obviously, to Robbie a lot. Oh, Geek History Lesson. So they're starting to send me suggestions. And I found this one this week that I really like a lot. It's called Jay and Miles Explain the X-Men. So if you want to
I
see...
need help with that.
Oh, gee, I know, right?
For those cold mornings, why not try Chernobyl Pops?
If you start at episode 1, they take you through to bring you through the whole history and trying to explain what's important and what's not important. So check that out. Again, it's called Jay and Miles Explain the X-Men. If you want to try to figure out, like, post John Byrne, basically the last 35 to 40 years of X-Men, if you want to try to know what that means, this is the show for you.
Thanks for sharing that. That's very cool. I was going to send this to you last night. Omar from Near Mint Condition, another fantastic guest.
We've interviewed him too. Yeah.
Yes. Omar he's got Where to Start Reading Marvel Comics.
Okay.
Because as anyone who watches knows, I'm a DC guy, and I have no idea. I bought a bunch of Marvel Omnis, but I don't know where to start. So
now
I
think he talked about that briefly when we were interviewing him. What format is that in? Is that like digital format on his website?
But he actually just did release a video last night, a new one. So he starts off with he's like, you got to start off with the Fantastic Four, and it's the classic one with Kirby and Lee. Mm-hmm. Then for Spider-Man, he's like, start off with Ultimate Spider-Man. So you jump right in and you're like basically caught up from the 2000s. You missed the biggest era of X-Force when Rob Liefeld sold like 8 billion number ones.
So anyway, it's a little embarrassing how ludicrous it got. Okay, so it wasn't just the X-Men. Superman was getting pretty crazy too. Anything that has Jubilee in it, I'm just fine with.
Yeah.
I'm in a Reddit comic collecting or comic books, and someone had some fan art of Jubilee reading a Wizard magazine.
Yes.
And people were commenting about it.
Was she blowing a bubble too or something?
She probably was. I don't recall, but she was like curled up and she, had her glasses, whatever. And she's reading Wizard, and people are making different comments. I said, oh, this is great. She's reading Todd McFarlane's hate interview on Liefeld.
Yeah.
I hope I get a bunch of upvotes.
Liefeld. That's what he does. Lies. He's a liar.
He's just like, he's 55 years old. I mean, he's my age now, and he's still just like bouncing around the table,
Well, speaking about tables and Rob Liefeld, I'm telling you, we're going to have a table. It's going to be a big display. It's just say, not Rob Liefeld. It's going to be Scott Incognito, and it'll be like, oh, wow, that's not Rob Liefeld, but he'll sign your books.
He's the same age. He's the same. This guy's the same age as Rob, but he's not Rob. 20
for a signature, 25 something else, and 30 for a picture or something. And you will not talk to. You can say hi to Scott, but you don't pay Scott. You pay me, and just like they do at the real Comic Con with the talent. And then they like walk up to you and they're like, "All right, it's going to be $40 for the signature." And then they take it and they put it in this big bag, like an actual bag of like old school bag of like leather bag of money. And then they like walk back, and then the talent's like, "Hey, how you doing?"
And don't give me food.
Yeah, don't bring Scott food. You can bring him flowers. But don't you bring him food and try and contaminate him. There's some crazy people out there that try and contaminate, not Rob Liefeld. Remember Philip Kennedy Johnson? He mentioned a one shot he did. This is what he was talking about. This is when Batman is introduced to Superman's team, the Authority, and it's Batman talking to Superman and being like, yeah, well, I need to try them out. I need your help with something, blah, blah, blah.
Who's our artist here?
This is the one where Phil said he had to break it up for 2 artists. Trevor Hairsine, Rain Barredo, and then you've got Jonathan Glapian and Scott Hanna, who are the anchors. You can see like it's almost like a kind of a painted, like glossy, like raw, like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Then they go back to the present day in our universe, and then Superman and his team go to the Pocket Universe based on Batman needing their help. It's cool. It's really neat. I actually see. So they changed themselves. So this is them in the Pocket Universe. See how Batman is warped. This was a good book. This was enjoyable. There's a thing at the end because this is a multiverse where there's another Bruce Wayne, and I'll leave it at that.
And again, you said the title that officially is
Batman Superman Authority Special #1. Very cool.
Yeah.
I read it and I messaged him. I'm like, is that so and so at the end of the book? And he goes, yes, it is.
What else you got over there?
Oh, what else? This took a year and a half.
Oh,
A year and a half to get back from CGC. It's a 9.8 still, thankfully. Signed by Gal Gadot on December 12th. But it's a convention exclusive, and it's got her obviously like shiny, like silver color.
Yeah.
And
gorgeous.
Gal Gadot signed it.
Wonder why it took so long for her to be able to get around to doing that.
Well, according to CGC, and I believe it, like they said that the schedule of talent fluctuates. And I know that like it should not have taken a year, almost 2 years. It should not have taken 18 months. However,
it did.
I know she's done some reshoots for like the Flash movie. Who knows if it's going to be in the movie though?
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. That's a pride and joy piece now. And then I got this. This is cool. This is a Lee Bermejo cover.
Okay.
House of Gotham. It's really neat the way it's done. It's written by Matthew Rosenberg, and the artist is Fernando Blanco. It's really cool because it takes place through like the biggest storylines of Batman's recent career, where this little boy his parents are killed. Spoiler. His parents are killed by the Joker while he's in the closet watching.
Oh boy.
And then the Joker's gonna kill him, but Batman comes through the window. There's a callback to like Nightfall. It all ties in because again, it follows the boy from like basically the big 90s era through like all these unfortunate events, and then Batman tries to have Robin rescue him, and then Azrael, who is Asbats, who took over for Bruce while his back was broken, interferes with Robin so he couldn't be saved. So it carries through all the major storylines, which was like genius, very well done. The boy basically becomes like almost like an underdweller from Batman the Animated Series. He almost becomes like the sewer king. Not that they call him that, that's just what I'm saying. And so he basically is like the voice of the voiceless, and like he becomes like the leader of the underground people. And then what happens to him is you'll see. It's Detective Comics 1047 through 1048. But I believe these may have been backup stories in those. But it's very good. It's neat how Batman tried to care for him, but all these things kept happening. It's like a series of unfortunate events for the kid.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's this. I'm looking forward to reading this by Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo. Nightwing, I think, Volume 2. And the art's beautiful. Tom Taylor, to me, really captures the spirit of who Dick Grayson is as Nightwing. Nightwing, get Grayson. They're out to get Dick Grayson. Billionaire Dick Grayson has publicly announced his plans to elevate Bloodhaven by creating the Alfred Pennyworth Foundation, which will help unhoused children get off the streets. But Blockbuster feels threatened as the power he has over the city slips from his hands, and through gritted teeth, he orders his assassins to get Grayson. With the safety of his family, friends, and pet Bitewing at stake, Grayson is safer as his alias Nightwing, and he must soar through the streets of Bloodhaven, going head to head with the people trying to kill him in order to protect those he loves. It's a good thing he's not doing it alone. Nightwing Volume 2, Get Grayson collects Nightwing 87 through 91 and Superman Son of Kal-El #9.
How recent would that be, roughly? That story arc was presented to us about when?
But within the past year.
Did I hear Jason and Ashley say that we're approaching the year that Grayson has been Nightwing almost as long as he's been Robin?
Yes, good memory. Because I forgot about it, but now that you mention it, yes.
Interesting, right?
Yeah,
Time goes
because you
by.
always think of him like, oh, Robin, but it's like, no, he's
Yeah.
Nightwing. See, that's some like geek extra credit right there, dude. Ashley and
I
Jason.
like extra credit because I don't do well on the regular stuff.
Oh, I need it in life in general. And then this one, Omar like gushed about this. This is like I guess what Identity Crisis was for me, where it was basically like an ode to the old school of DC. This is what this is, Avengers, with Kurt Busiek and George Perez. The art is so like 90s. It's not the quote unquote Rob Liefeld of it all, as Tom King said on the Batman Book Club recently. It's George Perez like in the prime of prime in the modern age. So I'm jazzed to read this eventually.
Didn't he spend some time with Wonder Woman?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
His art's good. Mm-hmm.
Oh, remember that Omar had that absolute Wonder Woman that was gold? It goes around and around on this thing, and it's just gold, right? And it's basically like her, the picture, and the gold makes like that pop because it's not part of the gold.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so cool and so beautiful.
Aww.
And I know George Perez did that. That's an absolute edition, I believe, of his that they released. Yes, but this was like the golden era that basically restarted the Avengers from the 90s right here.
Would this be post Liefeld?
This is 98. You guys, Jim and I got a signing bonus. We're like sports stars. It was like, wow. I looked at Jim and I'm like, can you believe this? And he said, yeah. And wow, I got a signing bonus plus a guaranteed contract. Hey, no. Let's do it. Everything is Rob Liefeld's fault. Like Rob always talks about. It's not that the comics weren't selling. No. They were selling, but the owner, he had his hands in too many pots.
Yeah.
He was doing cards and collectibles, and those weren't selling, and that was dragging the whole bottom line down.
Yeah.
You guys. So this one here, the Avengers, it collects Avengers from 1998, 1 through 23, and number 0. Iron Man, 1998, number 7. Captain America, 1998, number 8. Quicksilver, number 10. Avengers Squadron Supreme Annual, 98. Avengers Annual, 99. Avengers Forever, 1 through 12, and Avengers number 1 rough cut. This thing's got like almost 50 comics.
Very nice. That's cool. Did you know that Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver started out on the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, right?
And then somehow I think it was retconned that they were Magneto's kids. Like that's the current continuity, I think. So, and you know what? You just segued me, and you didn't even realize it. Look at them.
That's why you have me here. It's a hive mind.
It really is. The House of M.
Oh, look at that.
The Scarlet. So this was huge back, in the Twitter day, the Wizard days back in the 90s. When was it? Oh, actually later than that, 2000, the early 2000s.
All right.
So that's the Scarlet Witch, like losing her marbles, right?
Oh, yeah.
So this was huge. So there's other X-Men stories that tie into this, but apparently what happens is she says, spoilers, no more mutants, and it basically reduces the mutant population to like a handful of mutants. It was basically like Marvel's way of, remember DC back in 85, they did Crisis on Infinite Earths?
Yeah.
This is like their version, but for the mutants. An essential piece of Marvel history. The Scarlet Witch reshapes the world, and this is basically where they've adapted it from, like in the recent movie lore, and in like remember WandaVision. Yeah. Grief-stricken over the loss of her sons and ashamed for tearing apart the Avengers, a tortured Wanda Maximoff rewrites reality to make mutants the dominant species, transforming the lives of her family and friends. The only ones who know the truth are Wolverine and a mysterious girl named Layla. Can they rally Earth's heroes and find a way to put things back the way they were? Should they even try? And even if they succeed, will victory be worth the devastating price? Collected in its entirety for the first time comes the seismic event that changed the Marvel Universe. Collecting House of M 2005, 1 through 8. Spider-Man House of M 1 through 5. Fantastic Four House of M 1 through 3. Iron Man House of M 1 through 3. The New Thunderbolts, number 11, Black Panther, number 7, Uncanny X-Men 1981. Wow, they're going to tie this bad boy all the way back. 462 to 465, Wolverine 2003, 33 to 35, Captain America 10, Pulse 10, Cable and Deadpool 17, Incredible Hulk 2000, 83 to 87, New X-Men 04, 16 to 19, Exiles 2001, 69 through 71, Mutopia X 1 through 5, Decimation House of M the day after, Giant Size Ms. Marvel number 1, Secrets of the House of M Special, House of M number 1 Director's Cut, House of M Sketchbook, blah, 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 blah. Wow. Can you imagine trying to buy all those to like understand the story? And here it is in one shot. That's what's awesome about the omnibuses. Every issue tells the story in sequential. So it could start like in Batman and then go to Superman, then Justice League, then back to Batman, then back to Infinite Crisis.
Okay.
And then everything's sparsed in. And it's the same thing with Marvel, which is another reason to get an omnibus.
Well, if everyone would just put triangles on the covers, we would know.
You know, you're preaching to the choir. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jordan Grugesberg, shout out.
Makes you want to be a youth pastor.
Oh, it really does. I want to dress like one too. But you have the inside track, and Jordan is right there. He could definitely be a youth pastor. He's like your Luke Skywalker to your Obi-Wan. So this one here, this is Amazing Spider-Man. This is the Nick Spencer. This is the most recent run of Amazing Spider-Man, which I think was done in the past year and a half.
Okay.
So this is current continuity for Spider-Man. So that's why I picked it up, because Dan Slott had this like monumental run for years and years, and then he left and Nick Spencer picked up. So this is the first run, the first print of this omnibus. Mm-hmm. So I'm jazzed to read this. The hype is real. This is the Spidey book we've been waiting for Monkey Fighting Robots. So
any website that says monkeys must be good.
Oh, monkeys and robots? It's got to be, right?
Yeah.
They say it. And then there's a new villain called Kindred.
Mm.
So we'll find out what that's about. So that's my splurge, or as Omni Dog and Omar say, that's the haul.
That's the haul. That's your Omni haul. I was going through one last segment. So I'm putting them in Clears Connect, which is like a cataloging database, and it lets you put in, whatever, how much you paid, where did you get it, and you can get as crazy with it as you want.
That is so awesome.
But you can use it in the browser on your computer, and then it's actually got an app that synchronizes on your phone. So the fun thing is when you get all your magazines in there, and then if you're out hunting, you've got your phone, and you can just it creates a list for you. What don't you have? And so, as you're digging through long boxes, wherever you happen to be, it's like, oh, I need issue number 102, and I need number 107, that kind of a thing. But it also integrates with something called Cover Price, which is pricing data, but it pulls in the pricing. So it'll give you, if you're putting in your grades of what you got, or at least your estimated grades, it'll, show you pricing for comps. Yeah. It's got a field raw or slabbed. What's the condition? How much did you pay? Where did you get it? I mean, just there's probably 50 different fields for everything in there. And then you can create custom stuff too. Not only do you know what you have, when you're here looking at your stuff, but when you're out in the field and you're trying to buy and fill in, you go to a show or something, you can immediately just print off on paper before you go, or just use the app and go through it. It's like, call up this, series, and what do we got, and here's the ones that you're missing and what you need. But Boom Comics did an adaptation of the old 1980s Escape from New York, and there was a couple issues from that run in there, maybe 3 of them. But one of them was like $100 book, and I had no idea it was in there. And I wouldn't have cared or been mindful of it if it hadn't put it in the app. And then the cover price, apply the price on it. It was like 7.70 grade, 7.5, and it was like $99. I was like, so I was just like, wow, that's fun. The other thing that it does too, which is fun for me because I don't know, is it flags and it shows you everything that's our keys. So you've got blue keys for minors, and it'll tell you the reason that it's a key, and then it'll put a gold key symbol on it if it's a larger key. And then you can go in and look at the statistics of your collection. So like I've got about 620 entered in right now, and it'll say, oh, you've got 620 issues. It's worth X, Y, and Z. You've got 114 minor keys, and you've got, 26 major keys. Kind of super geeky, but fun. And it actually also gets to the point where all the variants are in there. So if it's got variant covers, you pick the correct one. And it even also has you select, was it newsstand or direct?
I couldn't imagine having an app like this when I was a kid. I would have never.
I know, right?
I wouldn't have gone to school, I would have I would have been on there all day like eating Hot Pockets and like my hair all over. Like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm entering my collection. I would lose my mind. I really would.
I almost forgot. I'm psyched. I want to go see the Ant-Man and Wasp movie. I like the actors, and I was glad. I didn't think they were going to have another Ant-Man, so I was glad to see that they're doing that. And then
I would have thought, right? Like I'm excited to go see Ant-Man.
Yeah,
but I'm the same way with Christian Bale. I'll watch anything with Christian Bale just because I'm like, oh, let's see how Batman does in this movie.
The quintessential billionaire dad, super, super annoying.
Yes, he's a natural. Ed Norton. Yeah, go fart in your head. It builds character. My mom's like, who's a real goober, he's saying how his heat was off. And I'm like, so did you warm yourself, engineer your own heating system?
And what did he say?
He's like, I have no problem doing that. I'm a fan of it, actually. Who needs utilities? I've got burritos for fuel.
Yeah, I was gonna say with some peanut butter.
Yeah. Oh boy.
People still want to know who Sheehan is, though.
Sheehan is a mystery of the universe. Sheehan is like the Milky Way galaxy. It's there, but you'll never see it. That's why you and I have to be good ambassadors of Sheehan. Because I'm not Sheehan. Scott's not Sheehan.
So until the next time, don't be a Sheehan.